Today was what I thought. I thought we would fill some gaps, go a little higher, but not close at the high of day. And obviously, we're going to look at different types of markets, so it can differ. But a lot of the markets closed in the high of day, at least when it comes to gold and silver stocks, they did by and large. Look at just general markets, for example, here. NASDAQ, we filled that gap, went a little bit higher, but pretty much filled the gap. It's the same pretty much for the rest. Look at that. S&P filled the gap, closed nowhere near the high of day. This is exactly what I was expecting. It really was like filled the gap. Russell filled the gap, not closing the high of day. What do I expect tomorrow? I expect, and there's news probably, but I expect a retest of the lows of today, maybe even close below today. And then the next day, right, test this low and think about a weekly close being at low of day, like low of week. I think that might happen. And then next week, down we go again. That's kind of what I think might happen. It's a bit early to say that, but that's actually since Monday what I thought would happen. So let's see if that pans out. But you see what I mean? We didn't close the high of day and we filled the gap, basically. Let's just look real quick at currencies. So DXY, look at this. It retested the high of yesterday. It's pretty technical stuff, which kind of coincides with the low of Friday, and closed, I don't know, halfway from the low and the high, so nowhere near high of day. Let's look at US dollar, Japanese yen. Look at that also, and it makes sense, of course, but retested the high of yesterday, which also coincides with price support. So that's resistance. Pretty obvious stuff. Uh, Not even after the fact, during the fact, that's pretty obvious. So what happens tomorrow? Honestly, we go down. I don't know if we test or close below this. Probably not. You probably need an extra day, get everyone scared and thinking long and hard whilst they sleep. And then the next day we probably breach and who knows, close below 140. That's when shit gets real, I reckon, especially US dollar, Japanese yen. So currencies, very technical. General markets, very technical. Bonds, my God, I didn't even check them. The yields, so bonds down, the yields closing their high day. That's interesting. That's unlike the currency, but that's still just a bounce that follows general markets. I'd say bonds are a bit, yields are a little stronger than the currencies. The dollar, for example. But let's see if everything rolls over, maybe the yields roll over as it did during this crash. People just buy bonds again. It's probably better to look at TLT. Nice drop, didn't fill the gap. Let's see. It doesn't actually matter too much. When people get scared, and I think they will because the markets go down, they'll just buy bonds. But there could be a first time for everything. Maybe bonds don't get bought as much as people think. Let's see. It doesn't really affect us too much. We care about gold and silver. Now, gold, a bit interesting because the miners were up, gold's down like 1%. So what was that? That was just selling the safe haven, right? Everything is awesome. Let's buy markets. Let's buy everything. So let's get rid of gold. I guess that's what it is. If gold went up, it wouldn't surprise me. If gold goes down, I don't want to say it doesn't. It does surprise me, but that's my reason, and it probably is the correct reason. And it's interesting that miners followed the markets rather than gold. I mean, silver also, it wasn't as down as much as gold, but silver is a bit of a risk on trade. You know what I mean? Like an industrial metal, it kind of tends to follow markets more than gold, if you know what I mean. Like silver will go down more if the markets are down compared to gold. So I guess it also makes sense that silver didn't go down too much and basically matched gold to some extent. It's okay. I mean, I don't mind silver going down as long as the miners don't, because I'm way heavier in the miners. Although I did trim quite a lot today because that was my plan. Even though the markets weren't up that much, the miners were not up that much. Let's actually go check. No, let's finish gold and silver. So support and resistance remain the same for me. We didn't breach anything today. We didn't even breach anything during this tumultuous time. So low 23.50, keep it simple. High 24.80. I don't think we need to do anything until that gets breached. Who knows if the markets crash? Does gold go down or maybe we go up since we seem to go down when the markets go up? Silver, though, a lot more likely to follow the markets. And although it did okay today compared to gold, it still was red on the market up day. So if it's going to follow the markets down, right? It's like down if markets are up, down even more when markets are down. It's had a great run, and that's not the strongest sign. So we could easily test 26, which to be honest, it's annoying because we had so much momentum and potential to squeeze to 50, but it's fine. We can wait a bit more. It could close below 26 if there's a market crash. And then where do we go? Honestly, I know it's crazy talking about it, but 23. I think I'm talking about it because I actually sold quite a bit today. So I would look forward to to move down to 23, but I would lose money on that. But long term, I would welcome it and just buy the absolute hell out of a lot of the stocks that I already own. So that's gold and silver. Miners, they followed the markets up. They also did a bit of a gap fill. Yes, we were off by a couple of cents, but it's pretty much the same thing. GDXJ with 43. I mean, big number kind of makes sense why it's still there. Otherwise, it would have been 43.30. SILJ, same thing. Okay, 11.20. The gap fill was 11.30-ish. But I could tell that we weren't going to fill the gap on a lot of them because the markets had already filled their gap. And I thought, they're going to roll over. Gold, silver are red. So what else can the miners do to fill the gap? GDX, as usual, outperforming on the way up and the way down, I would say, overall, filled its gap. So that was useful. And I used that to trim. So let's look at the individual miners real quick. I don't want to make this a long video again. Newmont trimmed, it more than filled its gap. So I thought, okay, so I just coincided that with GDX. Barrett Gold, yes, on the gap fill. Agnico, a bit like Newmont, just so strong. Trimmed also. I needed to keep it in line because the value went up too much. And I lowered I have these 3 levels, light, medium, and heavy. And it's been heavy for a long time. And it was between heavy and medium. And I just cut it to medium, even though when it increased in value, it went closer and closer to my heavy limit. So trimmed Pan American Silver, trimmed perfect gap fill almost. So, if you're off by a few cents, just in fact, that was kind of perfect. Perfect. That's what I said, right? Close a high of day, could go a little higher. This is now irrelevant and it will fill the gap and retest the setting. This is absolutely perfect. So might as well sell that. And I did. SSRM, I haven't bought that since my terrible buy at 50 something. I just left it. I'm just not touching SSRM. There are better things out there to trade. And thankfully, I mean, it was red on a green day. You can be almost sure that it's going to go down when the markets go down. And I think $4 is almost a given. I mean, I'm talking about what the trades I did, but what do I think is going to happen? If the market's going to go down, then Agnico, all of them will go down, despite strong ones like Agnico and Newmont, they will just go down. Wheaton surprised me. It was red today. Didn't sell that today. I sold some yesterday and got a better price. So I'm quite happy with the sales yesterday. I didn't expect Wheaton to be red. I guess the ascending was resistance in the end. I don't know. That's a bit strange. I will actually delete this now just to keep it simple. This is now no longer. Yeah, didn't expect that from Wheaton. Franco-Nevada, nothing special. Didn't touch that today. That really didn't do much. I was expecting a bit better, at least a 124 retest. Didn't do it, didn't sell it. I sold it yesterday. Metalla, absolute. Yeah, actually, by the end it closed. That surprised me. Late strength. Can it gap fill tomorrow? Probably not, because I think the markets will actually start going red tomorrow, especially by the close, where everyone will probably start getting scared. I really think that. But it's strange to sell because it never surprised me how much something can go down. Metalla is absolutely not a sell long term, in my opinion. But you can just trim and buy lower. It works both ways, So yeah, anything about whether it's even worth selling Metalla, even if it fills the gap. I bought it perfectly, right? I said that yesterday, 233. Genius. But I think I got myself 269. I wonder whether it's even worth it actually. Same with B2 Gold. I'll get to that in a second. Right. First Majestic, I sold. Now, I trimmed today what I bought yesterday. It's just simple, nice, I don't know, 10% move or something. And then hopefully buy back. It is really weird to sell First Majestic down here, but bad news. Definitely follows silver, and silver's, like I said, likely go down with the markets, and I think the markets will go down. So this is me being greedy, right? I do feel like I can get it back down here. And whilst you're going through horrible times, little 10% swings now and then, just push your portfolio value up as the sector you like goes down, as the cash holdings grow. In the end, it's just so worth it. By the time the miners move back up, before they reach their old highs, you got new highs in your portfolio. And I've done that a lot. I tend to trade the horrible periods quite well. So I'm starting to get back into it a bit. Right, that's First Majestic. So I think I sold 506 on this one. And then I sold again 501 to complete the buys that I did down here. For tuna, gap fill sold. No need to speak about that. Pretty clear stuff. Again, I'm just selling what I bought. If it goes back down, great, I'll buy back again, maybe at a lower low if the market looks crazy. If it keeps going up and I've got it wrong, fine. I'm holding what I held during the drop anyway. You know, I got the same amount of shares. It's just I sold what I bought. So it's like a free run. So that was quite a nice gap fill. It's really perfect. CDE, look at that gap fill there. 549 was nice. That's where I sold it. Yes, I did. So even though it went a bit above the gap, I could see the balance was strong. It was strong for like quite a nice period. So it's quite easy to see this 549 coming. So very happy with that. I hate selling CDE, but I tell you what, that one I didn't mind doing. Again, if we move back down, I'm going to make a lot of money trading CDE, and I always do on the drops. It bounces nicely, and to be honest, it's been on a really nice uptrend, and this is quite an obvious sell, like bam on the trend line, dropping with markets and bad news, filling gap. I mean, if it goes up, fine. I could have made more money, but I don't mind being wrong for that because that would really surprise me. So CDE gap fill sell, Heckler, I think that's earnings today. I should probably check if it's out today or tomorrow. I don't know. Gap fill didn't sell. Didn't sell even though I bought because I haven't had enough Heckler. I've been meaning to buy it and I got really lucky buying it, you know, down here. I still want one more buy, believe it or not. So if I want to buy more, I don't really feel like selling that. I could gamble, sell here and buy back, but you know, earnings, it'd be very hard to see a move up in earnings that holds because I still think the market's going to collapse. And I don't care how good your earnings are. If the market collapses, if you're up 8%, you'll probably close the day up 1. And it's horrible, but it does happen. EXK didn't get to the gap fill. It's come down so much that I was thinking, and I knew that I still think we're going to go down. I just didn't sell. I thought, nah, it's just come down so much. It's worth so much less than it used to be. It's like minimum light level. I thought, nah, it's okay. Let it go down. I'll add more like down here. I think that'll be a great buy. So I don't mind. Mag Silver sold that. Sold that because it hasn't come down that much compared to others. Yeah, it didn't fill the gap, but I had to lighten the load because it's not worth that little because it hasn't come down that much. So again, if I'm wrong and the market goes up, then I do have a chance to sell that tomorrow, sell that remaining amount because I sold half. I think like yesterday I sold a little bit and I was looking for that little extra move up today, but I didn't get that fill. ARMN, sorry, that's the one I cover. I did sell that. That more than filled the gap. So I sold that. I think I sold that at 4,401 or something as it was coming down. It's good because it always has a bit of a delay, so you have some time to sell that sometimes. Iron Gold didn't touch that. I sold it yesterday and we was too close to my sell yesterday because I got a nice sell. B2 Gold didn't touch that, even though it's perfect gap fill. Like I said, this one a bit like metallic. It's on the absolute long-term low. It's very hard to sell something that long-term I think is going all the way here. And I just held. Don't have to sell everything. I just held. And it's not worth too much, you know. It's not like the seniors up here. Equinox, yes, sold that. So I sold a little bit yesterday. And even though we didn't move that much higher today, I only sold half what I bought yesterday. And I bought at a decent price. So I just sold what I bought yesterday now, 100%. And now I got the core position that I've held for this whole period, even though I've trimmed a little bit on the way up. Like I bought, you know, if we forget the flush, just here, I was buying here and thinking that was the low. Obviously, it'd be flush because of the news around the world. So I've got the same position as I had when I was here. So what's the difference? A couple of cents. So it's just a free, you know, quick buy sell, and that's it as if it never happened. So very happy to hold that. SBSW doesn't count. It's just in its own world, palladium, whatever, all the different mines it metals that it mines still needs to flush this level for me to start getting curious. And I've got a nice little alert for that. So that's everything I did, nice and fast. Basically, gap fill done, just as hoped. Sold a decent amount, you know, the trades I bought and got more sidelines. Looking forward to tomorrow. I still think tomorrow we have a red day. I think the big bounce is over, and then maybe not tomorrow, but the day after, and the day after that, testing the old lows, very possible. So let's see what happens. Good luck out there. It's absolutely crazy.